Amidst the interplay of light and shadow, let us step into the world of the last emperor frame by frame. Symmetrical composition. Build tension, express order and a sense of oppression. The director used consecutive symmetrical compositions to suggest that Puyi would be bound by a strict hierarchical system in the future. The neat arrangement of the red carpet and empty chairs in the picture symbolizes the impending collapse of power and order, creating a sense of reflection and space in the composition, conveying a sense of oppression. Give the image a solemn and dignified atmosphere. The main color tones of the screen are red and gold, symbolizing imperial power and oppression. The extensive color coverage makes the scene more solemn and dignified. The central staircase and the crowds on both sides of the screen form a guiding line, concentrating the audience's gaze on the Hall of Supreme Harmony and strengthening the sanctity of imperial power. Depict characters and create a suspenseful and tense atmosphere. The symmetry of Puyi's shoulders and clothing enhances the stability of the image, while the contrast of facial lighting reveals his inner struggles. The use of medium to long focal length compresses the background, highlights foreground characters, and enriches emotional expression. The orderly arrangement of characters in the back of the screen symbolizes the feudal hierarchy, while Puyi's facial shadows symbolize his helpless struggle in the cracks, enhancing emotional tension and unease. Implies hierarchical systems and character dilemmas. The orderly arrangement of the characters in the rear symbolizes the feudal hierarchy, while Puyi's facial shadow symbolizes his being bound by the feudal system, portraying his powerless situation like a puppet. Framing composition. Guide the gaze and highlight the subject. The screen uses strong contrast between light and dark to increase visual tension and layering, focusing the audience's attention on the tiny Puyi, forming a contrast with the huge screen, implying his limitations under the powerful monarchy and traditional order, and showing the loneliness and powerlessness of the last emperor. Implies the character's situation and psychological state. The frame composition adds a sense of depth to the picture, with eunuchs as the foreground and Puyi as the background, implying the predicament he was in. The young Puyi longed for freedom in his heart but was unable to obtain it, always in a passive position. Compare hope and disappointment. The contrast between Puyi's broad composition of wanting to leave the palace gate and being confined within a narrow frame when returning to the palace symbolizes his inescapable fate and expresses the transformation of his heart from hope to disappointment. Three-part composition. Highlight the subject and depict characters. In the picture, Wanrong is placed in shadow, symbolizing continued feudal constraints, while the desk lamp illuminates Wenshou's bed, creating a contrast between light and dark, enhancing the level of the picture. At the same time, Wenshou's wardrobe door on the right opens, implying that she has broken free from constraints and regained her freedom. Guide the gaze and enhance emotional tension. Using the sedan chair and wet nurse as the dividing line, express the tragic feeling of parting. The red pillar symbolizes the isolation of the wet nurse from the palace and past life. Enhance the tension of the image. The emperor is located on the third line, adding dramatic and emotional tension to the picture. Enhance visual balance and expressiveness. The building is located 1/3 of the screen, and the ruins and crowds in the foreground bring a sense of historical weight and oppression, enhancing the visual impact and historical atmosphere of the picture. Triangular composition. Build character relationships. In the picture, Puyi lies in the arms of his wet nurse, and the triangular composition shows the intimacy and dependence between the two, expressing their deep feelings and trust relationship. Focus on the subject. By contrasting the angle of the overhead shot with the color of the clothing, a guiding line is formed to further enhance the prominence of the subject.